Welcome on board, chosen one. Look at you stepping in like you already know the entire room. Just reset its energy around your presence. Funny thing is, you didn't even try. You didn't raise your voice. You didn't pull any tricks. You just existed. And that alone was enough to make the so-called unstoppable force of your story flinch like someone kicked the floor out from under him. When they said he runs everything, they forgot to mention the one place he loses control, right in front of you. When they bragged about how he never folds, never hesitates, never doubts himself, they conveniently left out the part where he sees you and suddenly forgets how to breathe. Look who's glitching now. Oh, the legend suddenly needs to bow. The king loses his crown the moment you walk by. Wild how the truth looks completely different once the universe shines a light on it. And you know exactly why that happens, don't you? Because for the first time in his life, he met someone who doesn't bend, doesn't chase, doesn't shrink, and doesn't fall for his little performance. The universe gave him all this power everywhere else, yet took it straight out of his hands whenever you enter the picture. Everyone sees it, the shift, the tension, the way the atmosphere goes heavy, like a storm holding its breath. He hates that people notice, but they do. They always notice. If this message hits already, press the like button and subscribe to pay this back and lock in with the mission. Now, let's turn the knife a little deeper. You stand in a moment that feels like the aftermath of a battle you didn't even know happened. He's been swinging for months. Tiny attacks, confusing moves, mixed signals, power games, all of it meant to keep you off balance. But you didn't fall. You didn't break. That's when he realized he was the one getting studied, not you. You weren't reacting. You were observing, quietly, patiently, like someone who already knows the ending of the story. People talk about him like he's undefeated, like he always gets what he wants, like no one can resist him. But here's the part nobody likes to say out loud. The strongest men crumble when they meet someone who sees straight through their armor. And you saw through his like it was made of thin paper. That's why he avoids eye contact when he used to dominate it. That's why his voice softens when it used to command. That's why he watches you when he thinks you don't see. Because power is fun until the universe introduces someone who isn't impressed by it. This isn't new for you. You've done this before, without meaning to. Remember the kid in school who tried to bully everyone but went silent around you? Remember the co-worker who thought he was the smartest until you casually outpaced him? Remember that moment in your past when someone who controlled the whole room accidentally exposed how nervous he was standing next to you? You've been carrying this energy since way back. You just didn't realize the pattern until now. He runs everywhere because nobody ever challenged the script he wrote for himself. He was used to people folding, used to people wanting him, used to the universe letting him coast on charm and confidence. But then you showed up with a presence that didn't need approval or fear to feel real. You walked in with a calm so powerful it felt like a threat. You didn't ask for respect, you made it the default. You didn't chase connection, you became the standard, and that terrifies him. He can control crowds, he can control conversations, he can control outcomes, but he can't control the way his chest tightens when you look at him like you're reading his whole blueprint in 5 seconds. He can't control the way his mind races trying to decode you. He can't control the fact that you're the first person who ever made him feel something he can't dominate or direct. You are the one variable he can't solve, the one equation that breaks the pattern, the one presence that shuts down his entire system, because he knows, deep down, the universe didn't build you like anyone else he's met. And that's why everyone sees it. The shift, the fear, the awe. The way he loses the script around you, like someone ripped the pages out right as he opened his mouth. You didn't just enter his world, you exposed it. You revealed the limits he pretended he didn't have. You became the reality check his ego never prepared for. And the wildest part, you didn't have to lift a finger. The universe handled it the moment you walked in. Keep going. This is only the opening move. And before we go any further, Chosen One, let's get something straight. If you're still here after hearing how he loses every ounce of his power the second you show up, then yeah, you're not like the rest. Most people tap out when the truth gets uncomfortable, but you lean in. You feel the universe tugging at you, pulling you toward the part of the story nobody else was brave enough to tell. So lock in with me. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment saying, "I see it now." That simple move stamps your place in this moment. It sends a signal to the universe that you're ready to understand why the guy who runs everywhere suddenly can't run anything around you. Now, let's move step by step. Stay close. Because if you really are the one who scrambles his confidence, bends his script, and shuts down his whole act without trying, you'll feel that pull dragging you all the way to the end. This is where everything starts shifting for real. Number 1, the crown he wears everywhere until you walk in. Funny how a man can rule every room on earth and still lose his voice when you're the one standing in front of him. Everywhere else, he moves like he owns the atmosphere. People step out of his way without thinking, like their bodies just know he's supposed to be the center. They fix their posture the moment he walks in. They laugh too loudly at his dull jokes. They nod at ideas he barely finished forming. He doesn't even need to raise his hand. The whole room reacts to him like he's some kind of gravitational force. Their thoughts bend. Their emotions bend. Their entire nervous systems quietly shift to match his rhythm. He's the storm they try to predict. He's the weather pattern they rearrange their lives around. And he knows it. He's lived off that power for years. He built a whole identity on being the man who never gets shaken, the one who never feels small, the one who always knows what to say, when to say it, and exactly how people will respond. He runs shut everywhere else, because nobody ever made him question whether the crown he wears actually belongs to him. And people feed into it willingly. They hand him their attention like a tribute. They rewrite their opinions so his ego stays fed. They go along with him because he seems untouchable, unshakable, unbothered. The universe gave him a presence that regular people don't know how to stand up to. But let's tell the truth, the universe has been quietly laughing about. All that confidence, all that control, that whole "I run the show" persona. It's a costume, a very expensive, very shiny costume that works on everyone, except you. Because the moment you step into the same space, everything changes. The air shifts, his certainty cracks, his perfect timing stutters, his eyes dart too quickly, like he's checking for an exit from a situation he's not prepared to handle. He feels it before he sees it. The loss of control, the loss of dominance, the loss of the smooth script he usually delivers to the world. Around you, he doesn't run anything. Around you, he turns into the quiet one, the one who second guesses himself, the one who suddenly forgets how to be the man everyone thinks he is. This is the part that messes with his head the most. The universe didn't let his power translate when it came to you. Everywhere else, people bend, but you don't. Everywhere else, he leads, but you don't follow. Everywhere else, he feels like the main event, but you walk in, and suddenly he looks like he's auditioning for his own role. And don't even lie to yourself. chosen one. You've noticed this shift for a long time. You just didn't know what to call it. That moment when he looks at you like he's trying to read a language he never learned. That moment when he tries to impress you and ends up exposing every insecurity he ever tried to bury. That moment when he laughs too softly or speaks too carefully because he doesn't trust himself not to mess up. You've seen all of it, even when you pretended you didn't. Here's the truth nobody ever told you. You are the exception in a world that always lets him be the exception. And that scares him more than he will ever admit. He runs shushed everywhere else because the world never pushed back. But you're the mirror he didn't ask for, the one reflection he can't edit or control. When he looks at you, he sees the parts of himself that aren't as strong as he pretends. He sees the cracks in the armor he thought was perfect. He sees a challenger the universe handcrafted, not someone he can charm, command, or manipulate. Nothing exposes a fake king faster than someone who doesn't fear the throne. Let's dig deeper, because I know you've wondered, why you? Why does he, the guy who never fumbles, choke on his own confidence when you enter the room? Why does he look unsettled, confused, almost nervous? Because you break the pattern. Everywhere else, people let him lead. So he assumes leadership is his natural state. Everywhere else, people praise him. So he assumes he deserves it. Everywhere else, he's the loudest, strongest, sharpest voice. So he assumes nobody can silence him, but you silence him without trying. You don't feed his ego. You don't flinch. You don't buy the story he sells the world. And that alone is enough to tear down his entire foundation. Remember something. Power is only real if it stands in front of someone who doesn't bow. And you never bowed. You walked in with your own presence, your own calm, your own clarity. You didn't compete with him. You didn't challenge him out loud. You didn't try to steal his spotlight. But the universe works in funny ways. Sometimes simply existing at your full strength is enough to make a powerful man question everything he's built. This is why people whisper when you two share the same space. They see the glitch in him, the hesitation, the way his mask slides off. They see his reactions change in real time, like he's meeting a force he can't categorize. They see the guy who runs everything suddenly run nothing at all. And let's not pretend this is the first time something like this has happened in your life. You've always been the exception. You've always made powerful people act strange. The kid who bullied everyone but avoided you. The boss who controlled the whole office but stumbled around you. The person who bragged about their confidence until you walked in and revealed how much of it was borrowed, not earned. This is your gift. You pull the truth out of people without lifting a finger. Real strength doesn't scream. It exposes weakness just by standing still. He hates that you exist because you expose something he never wanted to face. He's not in control. The universe never designed you to be someone's follower, never designed you to bend to someone else's aura, never designed you to shrink for someone else's comfort. He runs shot everywhere else. But around you, he remembers he's human. He remembers he has fears. He remembers he has insecurities. He remembers that no matter how loud he gets, your silence is louder. So take this in, chosen one, not as flattery, not as ego fuel, but as truth. You are the boundary life placed in front of him, the one puzzle he can't solve, the one energy he can't copy, the one presence he can't manipulate. He controls the world, but the world goes quiet when you show up, and now he has to face the only thing he never prepared for, someone who doesn't need his power to feel powerful. His crown works everywhere else, but it falls apart in your hands. Number 2, the beautiful error. His ego can't debug. Nothing rattles a man faster than realizing the one person he can't impress is the one person he can't ignore. Here's the part he'll never admit out loud. When you show up, his entire system malfunctions. This is a man who prides himself on control, structure, precision. His confidence usually walks into the room 5 seconds before he does. His voice is always steady, his timing always sharp, his energy always dominant. But the second you enter his field, something inside him glitches, like a machine skipping a beat. Like a code he trusted suddenly throwing an error he can't explain. Imagine this: he's spent years upgrading himself like a high-end piece of tech. He's installed charm as software. He's programmed confidence as muscle memory. He's trained himself to predict people the way a chess master predicts moves 10 turns ahead. And it works on everyone else. But then you show up, and his whole operating system starts stuttering like outdated hardware. His words load slowly. His reactions lag. His ego freezes, waiting for instructions that never come. And you notice it, even if you pretend not to. He tries to hide it behind that cool persona, but his eyes give him away. The tiny flicker of panic, the half-second delay before he responds, the sudden awareness of his posture, his volume, his breathing. He becomes hyper-conscious of every single thing he's doing because for the first time in years, he actually cares how he's being perceived. The man who never hesitated suddenly hesitates every time he looks at you. Confidence is loud until it meets someone who doesn't bow to it. You bypass the system he spent years building, and the wildest part is, you're not even trying. You don't speak differently. You don't act differently. You don't put on a show. You just exist, and that alone is enough to break his internal pattern. And yes, let's answer the question you've quietly carried. Why does he glitch around you and not around anyone else? Because you don't react the way the system expects. While others bend to his presence, you stay steady. While others rush to fill the silence, you let it breathe. While others try to impress him, you stay in your own lane. You don't speed up your heartbeat for him. You don't raise your voice. You don't shrink or grow exaggerated to match his energy. You stay unmoved, and that lack of reaction, that's the glitch. Imagine this. His whole life has been a video game where he's always player one, always winning, always in control. Everyone else plays according to his rules. They follow the right scripts. They give the expected responses. But you walk in like you're the hidden level he didn't know existed. The one place where all his usual tricks stop working. You break his programming because you refuse to follow the predictable pattern he's used to. Nothing is more threatening to a man than a person who sees him clearly but still stays silent. He becomes hyper-aware of everything when you're near. His words suddenly matter. His timing suddenly matters. His tone suddenly matters. He wants to sound calm, but it comes out careful. He wants to look confident, but he looks rehearsed. He wants to feel in control, but he feels exposed. And he hates that you can see it. He knows you notice the shift. He knows you catch the delays. He knows you see the moment he recalibrates mid-sentence because he's unsure which version of himself you'll believe. He's used to being effortlessly smooth, but around you, he feels like someone learning to walk again. You didn't just disrupt his rhythm. You forced him to confront a truth he avoided. He doesn't know who he is when he's not being admired. That's why you feel his energy scramble. That's why his voice dips. That's why he corrects himself mid-sentence. Imagine this. You're standing there like a mirror he never asked for. A mirror that doesn't show the polished version he presents to the world, but the vulnerable one underneath. And for a man like him, vulnerability is corruption. It's a line of broken code he doesn't know how to rewrite. He thought he was immune to pressure, but he never dealt with your kind of pressure, the quiet kind, the steady kind, the presence that can't be manipulated, the aura he can't decode. Some glitches aren't accidents. They're the universe exposing who someone really is. He's been running the same script for years. Walk in confident, hold the room, control the rhythm, make people adjust, get the reaction he wants, exit the scene untouched. But around you, none of it works. You don't adjust. You don't speed up. You don't treat him like a king. You don't reward his performance with approval. And that alone crashes the entire system. Because for the first time, he is not the one in control of the interaction. And you know what the universe is doing here. It's leveling the field in front of him without warning. It's reminding him that no matter how much power someone has, there's always one person who can walk in and change the rules without speaking. You are that person. And deep down, he knows it. He's terrified of you, but not in the way people fear danger. He fears you in the way someone fears truth. You don't react. You don't flinch. You don't fall for the charm. You don't bend for his ego. You're not intimidated, you're not impressed, and you're not reachable through the pathways he uses on everyone else. The glitch happens because you expose the one weakness he tried to hide. He's not nearly as solid as he pretends to be. Imagine this. He's a master chess player who always wins in 5 moves, but you're not even playing chess. You're playing something entirely different, and he doesn't know the rules. He can't read your next move because you don't make moves for attention or validation. Everything you do is clean, calm, and unbothered, and that terrifies him. So he recalibrates. Over and over. He watches your expressions too closely. He measures his words too carefully. He laughs half a second too late because he's thinking instead of flowing. He tries to act natural, but ends up looking like a corrupted file loading on slow internet. And the worst part for him, you see all of it. Some people shake the room. You shake the person who thinks they're running it. He's not used to losing footing. He's not used to being nervous. He's not used to feeling unprepared. But around you, he becomes a beginner again. And for someone who built their entire identity on control, this is the ultimate nightmare. But for you, chosen one, it's the ultimate confirmation. The universe didn't send you into his world to admire him. You were sent to expose the truth he hid even from himself. You were sent to break the illusion he depended on. You were sent to remind him that real power doesn't come from dominance. It comes from presence. And your presence, it rewrites his entire system. He can't fix the glitch. He can't debug the error. He can't upgrade this one away, because the glitch is not a flaw in him. It's the power in you. Number 3, the one. Weak spot. His ego never prepared for. Nothing scares a man more than realizing the one person he can't break is the one person he can't predict. You break his confidence because you ruin the script he's repeated his whole life. He's used to being the expert, the master player, the one who always knows the next move before anyone else even thinks of it. But when it comes to you, he turns into a beginner, a rookie, someone trying to play a game he doesn't recognize, holding rules that don't matter anymore, and that alone shatters him. Imagine this. He spent decades sharpening his instincts like weapons. He walks into rooms already knowing how people will react. He knows whose voice will crack. He knows who will fold first. He knows the exact moment someone decides to like him, fear him, admire him, or chase him. It's easy for him, predictable, boring even. But then you show up and suddenly his entire mental map is blank. He looks at you and there's no forecast, no certainty, no pattern, just static. That terrifies him, because how does a man survive when the one skill he's most proud of stops working? You don't give him the reactions he's used to. You don't fall for the charm. You don't soften when he leans in. You don't adjust yourself to make him comfortable, and he hates how unsure he feels in those moments. He hates the way his chest tightens when he tries to read you and finds nothing he can use. You're unreadable in a world that always let him read everything. Confidence collapses the moment it hits someone who refuses to play the game. You break his confidence because you're the first variable he can't solve, not with logic, not with charisma, not with power. The universe designed your presence to interrupt his entire system. He's used to shaping people, but he can't shape you. He can't bend you. He can't file you into a version that fits safely inside his world. And that shakes him more than anything else ever has. Number 4. The blind spot he never saw coming. Nothing rattles a man more than realizing the one person he wants to decode is the only one he has no access to. He spent his entire life studying people like textbooks. He learned micro-expressions before he learned multiplication. He learned body language the way other people learn songs. He built his whole identity on knowing what someone felt before they even admitted it to themselves. It wasn't luck. It wasn't charm. It was skill, precision, calculation, a lifetime of observing every tiny detail in human behavior until he could read a room faster than most people can read a sentence. But when it comes to you, his map turns blank. His compass spins. His entire system loses signal. Imagine this. He's been navigating life like a master pilot flying through storms without fear. And then suddenly with you, every instrument on the dashboard shuts off. No markers, no directions, no forecast. Just silence. Just uncertainty. Just him facing someone who doesn't move to his rhythm, doesn't bend to his timing, doesn't react the way the world trained him to expect. That's why he can't read you. You don't melt when he turns on the charm. You don't shrink when he uses authority. You don't chase when he pulls back, and you don't cling when he gets close. You're respectful, but not impressed. Present, but not affected. You exist like someone who already knows their own power and doesn't need external permission to stand tall. People are easy to read until they finally meet someone who reads themselves. He's playing chess, calculating every angle, every piece, every possible outcome. But you're not even touching the board. You're in a different game entirely, one where he has no control, no advantage, and no way to predict the next move. And that's why you're the first person he can't read, because you're not here to be studied. You're here to be reckoned with. Number 5. The door that refuses to bow for him. Nothing humbles a man faster than realizing the one door he wants to open is the only one that stays locked. His entire life has been one long hallway of automatic victories. Doors swing open before he reaches them. People say yes before he even forms the question. Opportunities line up like they've been waiting for his arrival. He moves through life like someone who's used to everything bending in his direction. Not because he asks, but because the world simply complies. But then he reached you, and for the first time in his life, the door didn't move. Imagine this. He walks up expecting the usual, expecting you to open, expecting you to welcome him in, expecting your world to shift so he can blend himself comfortably into it. That's what everyone else does. But you stand still. You stay closed. Not harsh, not cold, just unmoved. And suddenly his confidence, the confidence built on years of effortless access, fractures. You're the first door he can't open, the first question he can't answer, the first opportunity that refuses to explain itself, and it drives him insane. Because for a man like him, no response is louder than rejection. Your silence becomes a riddle. Your stillness becomes a challenge. Your calm becomes a mystery he can't ignore. The universe gave him everything except the ability to unlock you. People chase what resists them, but they obsess over what exposes their limits. You don't give him the reaction he expects. You don't fold, don't rush, don't break your own rhythm to match his. He keeps trying, handles, switches, buttons, anything to make the door move. And every time it stays still, something inside him tightens. You're not playing hard to get, you're simply not bending. And he has never met that before. And now, the problem he wants to solve is you. Number 6. The name he can't stop whispering in the dark. Mention their name once, and a man will reveal everything he's pretending not to feel. If you could hear the way he talks about you when you're not there, chosen one, you'd finally understand how deep this goes. His voice changes. His energy shifts. He says your name like it's a code he keeps typing in, hoping the door will finally open. Every time someone brings up something unrelated, somehow, mysteriously, you get folded into the conversation. And nobody questions it, because his obsession is starting to show, even when he tries to hide it. Imagine this. He's sitting with people who expect him to be calm, collected, in control. But the moment your name enters the room, he goes still. He listens too closely. He watches too sharply. He leans in just enough to betray that something inside him is rearranging itself. That inner glitch. Yeah, it's still tearing up his system. Silence is honest. Listen to what a man says when he's not protecting his pride. He brings you up without meaning to, in topics where you absolutely don't belong, in discussions where your presence makes zero sense, because your name sits in the back of his mind like a blinking notification he can't clear. You're the question stuck on repeat, the thought that interrupts his sleep, the unknown he keeps circling back to, hoping the universe will give him a clue. And here's the truth he'd never admit. He has never wondered about anyone before. He never had to. People were predictable, people were readable, people were easy. But you pushed him into unfamiliar territory. Imagine him pacing at night, thinking, why can't I figure them out? Imagine him replaying every interaction like a scientist studying rare data. Imagine him hearing your name across a crowded room and freezing like he just got hit with static. He wonders about you constantly because you're the first person who made him feel something he can't control, can't decode, can't dismiss. You didn't just enter his mind, you built a throne there. Number 7. The checkmate he never saw coming. You can't outplay someone who isn't even sitting at the board. His entire identity is built on strategy, reading people, predicting outcomes, staying 10 moves ahead. He treats human interaction like a battlefield he always wins because everyone else is playing with predictable patterns. They react the way he expects. They fall into the traps he sets. They respond to the energy he projects. That's how he built his whole reputation, by knowing people better than they know themselves. But then you arrived, and everything collapsed. Imagine this. He walks into the arena geared for chess, ready with tactics, counter-tactics, mental traps, emotional cues. Meanwhile, you stroll in holding nothing but your authenticity, pure, unfiltered presence, and suddenly his entire playbook turns into useless paper Because how do you strategize against someone who isn't playing the game? How do you manipulate someone who doesn't need anything from you? How do you bend someone who's already standing straight? You can't disarm someone who's not holding a weapon. Your authenticity destroys him because it gives him nothing to grab onto, no leverage, no patterns, no obvious trigger points. While everyone else tries to impress him, you just exist. While others adjust their tone, you stay steady. While others try to win his approval, you don't even reach for it. And that drives him insane, because authenticity is the one thing he cannot predict or control. Imagine a master strategist facing a still pond. No ripples, no reactions, no signs to read. That's what you are to him, a surface too clear to manipulate, too honest to deceive, too steady to provoke. He's used to dancing people around like pieces, but you're not a piece, you're the board, and that is the ultimate checkmate. Number 8, the power shift that hit him like a silent bomb. Real power isn't stolen, it's exposed. Here's the nuclear truth people whisper about but never dare to say in front of him. The power dynamic flipped the moment you showed up. Not because you fought him, not because you challenged him, not because you tried to outshine him. No, it flipped because you simply refused to react. And for a man who lives off reactions, that was the deadliest move you could have made. Imagine this. He walks into every room expecting the usual shockwave. People straighten up, voices soften, energy bends. He's used to his presence being a command, not a suggestion. His influence only works because everyone else gives it somewhere to land. His power needs a target. It needs a response. It needs an audience to bounce off of. But you gave him nothing. No shrinking, no bending, no overreacting, no playing the lesser role everyone else falls into without thinking. You stood there as yourself, steady, grounded, untouched. And suddenly all that power he carries like a weapon had nowhere to aim. No impact, no effect, no grip. That's the thing about real power. It only works on people who believe in it. And he felt the shift immediately. The universe slapped truth across his face the moment he realized he couldn't move you, that you weren't flinching, that you weren't giving him the emotional oxygen his strategy depends on. He stood there overflowing with the same energy that controls entire rooms, yet around you it evaporated. It hit a wall, it bounced back onto him like recoil. Imagine him walking forward with the confidence of a king, only to discover that his crown turns invisible the moment your eyes meet his. Imagine him trying to set the tone, only to realize you're not dancing to it. Imagine him pushing the same buttons that work on everyone else, and watching them do nothing. That shakes his core harder than any insult, rejection, or loss ever could. Because now he knows the truth. His power never truly belonged to him. It belonged to the people who reacted to it. And you didn't. You didn't strip him of power. You revealed how little he really had. That's the part that keeps him awake at night. That's the part he'll never admit. That's the part everyone watching can see, like a crack running through glass. The man who runs shut everywhere suddenly found the one person who doesn't budge, the one person who doesn't break, the one person who doesn't play along. The power dynamic flipped, not because you fought him, but because you showed him a version of himself he can't control. And the universe isn't done exposing him yet. Number 9, the collapse. Everyone pretends not to notice. Watch a man long enough, and the truth he tries to hide will start leaking out of his body. Everyone sees it, chosen one. Even if they act clueless, even if they pretend nothing's different, trust me, People notice the shift in him the second you enter the room. His eyes change first. They lose that sharp, commanding certainty and turn into something searching, almost nervous. His voice drops half a tone, not to sound powerful, but to sound careful. His posture loosens, not from confidence, but from confusion. And people catch it. People whisper about it. People exchange looks like, "Hold up, why is he acting like that?" Imagine this. The same man who walks into every room like it was built for him suddenly recalibrates the moment you appear. His shoulders aren't as squared, his steps aren't as loud, his sentences have too many pauses. His confidence tries to stay intact, but his body is betraying him in real time. Strangers feel it like a temperature drop. Friends feel it like a glitch in a familiar pattern. Nobody can explain it, but everyone can sense that whatever power he normally carries evaporates around you. The lion doesn't roar when the one thing he can't hunt is standing in front of him. He tries to hide it, but the universe exposes him anyway. That commanding presence he's so proud of, it softens around you into something almost hopeful. His eyes search your face for clues. His energy leans toward you instead of dominating the space. He stops being the apex predator and starts being something far more human, unsure, intrigued, and way too aware of your presence. And you've wondered why, haven't you? Why everyone suddenly acts different when he shifts. Why conversations pause. Why people smirk like they know something he doesn't want them to know. Because they see the cracks. They see the crown slip. They see the man who runs shit everywhere, suddenly unsure of himself. Power is loud, but insecurity is louder. And that uncertainty, it's eating him alive. He's never had his confidence exposed like this. He's never felt his image bend in front of witnesses. He's never been forced to face the fact that his power has limits, and you're the limit. Everyone can see the shift he's desperately trying to hide. And deep down, he knows the truth. He doesn't lose power around you. He loses control. Number 10. The moment curiosity mutates into obsession. First, he notices you. Then he needs you. Then he can't escape you. Here's the twist he never saw coming. You weren't trying to affect him. You weren't performing. You weren't strategizing. You were just existing, living your life, minding your business. And somehow that was enough to rip his entire mental stability out of his hands. Attraction was the gateway, sure, but what he's dealing with now, this isn't attraction. This is fixation. This is craving. This is obsession dressed as curiosity, eating him alive from the inside. Imagine this. He wakes up in the morning planning his day, and somehow your face slips into the blueprint. He goes to work and catches himself wondering what you are doing. Someone speaks to him, and he zones out because your voice echoes louder in his memory than the one in front of him. You became the reference point he compares everything to, every tone, every reaction, every person. It's like you rewired his world without even touching it. You don't enter a man's mind loudly. You enter quietly and then refuse to leave. He studies you like ancient scripture. Every reaction you give or don't give becomes data he tries to decode. Every conversation replays in his mind like he missed a secret message. Every silence feels loaded. He searches for patterns as if decoding you will give him back the control he lost. He tells himself it's curiosity. It's not. It's obsession. Imagine him rewinding the smallest interaction over and over, trying to figure out why you hit him harder than anyone else ever has. Imagine him checking your social presence, then telling himself he's just curious. Imagine him walking through crowds, feeling nothing, then thinking of you and suddenly feeling everything too intensely. You're not his type, you're his trigger. You're not an attraction anymore. You've become the one puzzle piece he can't stop touching, the one frequency he can't stop tuning into, the one person who hijacked his thoughts without even trying, and the universe isn't letting him shake you off anytime soon. Number 11, the power you gain the moment you walk away. Some people disappear when they leave the room. You become unavoidable. Here's the part that destroys him quietly. With everyone else, distance erases them. Out of sight, out of mind. They fade like background noise the moment he steps away. But you? Your absence hits harder than your presence ever did. When you're not around, that's when the real damage begins, because that's when he finally feels the full weight of losing control. Imagine this. He tries to get back to his usual life, the rooms he runs, the people who fold, the routines that make him feel untouchable. But instead of settling into his old rhythm, he feels a strange emptiness, a missing variable he suddenly can't function without. He checks his phone too often. He rewrites messages he never sends. He looks for you in places where you were never supposed to be. Your silence becomes a signal he can't decode. Your distance becomes a riddle he can't solve. Your absence becomes a pressure he can't ignore. Real power isn't in how you enter. It's in how they suffer when you're gone. And here's what breaks his mind. The less he interacts with you, the more your presence takes over his head. You become sharper in memory, more intriguing in imagination, more powerful in the space where he can't reach you. He tries to shake it off, but the universe amplifies you every time he tries to forget. Imagine him lying awake at night, replaying your smallest expressions like they're clues. Imagine him wondering why you didn't respond, why you didn't chase, why you didn't fold like everyone else. Imagine him realizing that your absence didn't weaken your impact. It multiplied it. You're not fading, you're expanding, and that's why your absence terrifies him, because you're the only person who becomes stronger when you're not there. Number 12, the transformation that devours his old identity. Some people shake your world. You rewrote the entire universe he thought he controlled. Something in him is changing, chosen one, and it's not small, not subtle, not temporary. This is full-scale internal restructuring. You didn't just confuse him, you triggered a transformation his old self cannot survive. Every time he thinks of you, speaks to you, or stands anywhere near your frequency, another piece of his internal operating system cracks open. The beliefs he defended for years suddenly feel flimsy. The assumptions he lived by fall apart in his hands. The worldview he built like a fortress now looks like a cardboard set collapsing under its own weight. Imagine this. He spent his entire life speaking one language: dominance, control, certainty. Then you walk in, and suddenly he's forced to learn an entirely new one, a softer, deeper, more honest frequency. One he can't manipulate, one he can't master, one he can only surrender to. And the universe is laughing because he finally sees that his old map of reality wasn't just incomplete, it was tiny. Growth doesn't whisper, it breaks you open. You dragged him to the breaking point without lifting a single finger. Two versions of him are clashing inside his chest like storms colliding. He knows he can't be two different men forever, the untouchable ruler in one world, and the trembling, awakening version that shows up around you. So he stands at a crossroads with shaking hands. One path is the safe one: rebuild the walls, hide behind the mask. Pretend your presence didn't rewrite his entire internal reality. But he can't take that path. Not anymore. because walking away from you feels like surrender, feels like losing the one thing that ever shook him awake, feels like admitting defeat in a game he never loses. And the other path? The terrifying one, the one where he has to face himself, the real himself. That's the path he keeps getting dragged toward, because your presence exposes the truth he avoided for years. Winning isn't everything. Control isn't everything. Power isn't everything. Some people dominate rooms, you dominate perspectives. He's stuck between craving your energy and fearing what it's turning him into, drawn to you with gravity-level force, yet terrified of how much of his ego dissolves when he gets too close. But then, after all the confusion, the obsession, the mental chaos, something inside him clicks. It was never about conquering you. It was never about predicting you. It was never about control. What you show him, simply by existing, is that there is another way to move through the world. A type of strength that doesn't roar, a type of presence that doesn't bend others, a type of power that stands still and still changes everything. And for the first time in his entire life, he is humbled. And now, chosen one, you see the whole picture laid bare. The man who ran every room lost his footing the moment he met someone he couldn't bend, couldn't read, couldn't control. You didn't defeat him. You revealed him. And that alone changed everything. If this hit the way the universe intended, like the video, subscribe, drop 777 in the comments, and share this message so others can wake up too.